Okay, it's Friday, May 20th, 2022. It's a little windy out today, but the temperature's nice, around 25 degrees. I'm out on the balcony to do a balcony garden update. Well, here's a Hungarian pepper plant. Remember that from last year. And it's still growing some peppers. The plant looks very healthy. Over here I decided to plant some strawberries because who doesn't like fresh strawberries? Well, look at that. They're starting to grow already this year. Excellent. As you know, I like to grow some spring onions because who doesn't like spring onions? Nice fresh onions. And those will grow nicely in the trough. Now for those of you who remember, I did an experiment over the winter and planted some garlic. As you know, unfortunately, it didn't grow in the troughs on the balcony. As you can see, I've reused those troughs to plant onions. And I checked the ones over at my sister's place, and there's no video to show for it. You know what? It was a complete failure. So I have to find out why nothing grew out of them. They sprouted, they grew greens on top, but nothing grew under the ground. So that, unfortunately, as I said, was a failure. But that's a good thing about gardening. You learn as you go along. That's how you get better at it. Speaking of which, let's venture over there and see some of the plants in the ground. Okay, so here's the red pepper plant. They've transported that over and put it in the ground. As you can see, it has a little bit of budding on it. Over here beside it, they've planted this pepper plant. These are hot peppers. You can see I've put a tomato cage around it just to give it support so it can stand up because I didn't have any other support for it. And it seemed to be a little bit heavier than I thought. So this way at least it can be supported. You can see it's got little flowers on it. The leaves are nice and healthy. And hopefully that one will grow nice this summer. Well, in the ground over here you're going to say, well, that doesn't look too healthy. Well, it's fine. It's a tomato plant grown from seed. Put a stake to support it. This one's growing a little bit big inside. And the trick to planting these is you dig a hole, give it a little water and plant food, and you try and build a mount around the base as much as possible, so if an animal comes by, the plant should be secure for a bit until it can get stronger. Here's a little bit more tomato plants from seed. You can see I put a little bit of clay behind this one to help support it a little bit. Same with this one. Looks like a little rock beside it, just so it has something to lean on. So if you look from here, here's this one. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And here's one that was store-bought that's beside it, so you can see how much bigger the store-bought one is. And we'll keep an eye on them and see how this one's grow. Now same story over here because the success rate isn't 100% with organic plants grown from seed. So I like to plant more of them, see what happens. Have more of these plants. I'll keep an eye on them, see how they progress. So as you can see, we got the tomato plants started for this year at an early start. You know, the general rule is basically wait for the May 2-4 weekend, which is coming up this weekend, already at Friday here, and then monitor the temperatures. As long as there's no frost or anything, it should be good to go ahead and plant. Planted some of the tomato plants there. If they're good in a week or so, that's great. If not, I can plant some more. So keep an eye on that and see how it goes. Wow, it's windy out here. Don't want to lose my hat. Anyway, thanks for watching and we'll see you next week.